Hey, it's Abdullah Samir. I'm going to be reacting to the anti-immigrant billboards that have been seen all across Canada. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, these billboards have been appearing all across Canada. They're paid for by a private company to support the People's Party. It says, "Say no to mass immigration. Vote People's Party." Now, these billboards are very controversial and have created quite a firestorm. They're saying, say no to mass immigration, right? And a lot of people are quite upset. I myself am an immigrant. I came from Kenya when I was 8 years old to Canada, and I've been here for 25 years, something like that. I grew up in Canada, and I must say I love Canada. Now, it's interesting that they're saying say no to mass immigration. Like, Canada doesn't have mass immigration. Canada has a program for immigration, but not mass immigration, right? If you look at the stats, every year we're talking about like 200,000, 190 to 200,000 immigrants out of a population of 37 million. Now, why would Canada even want immigrants, right? I mean, well, you can see that here. Federal highly skilled Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program, Caregivers, Federal Business, Provincial Nominee Program, and the Quebec Skilled Workers in Business, which is a new program, I guess. Now, what about refugees, right? Let's go down. And how many family members? So about 80,000, 90,000 a year added to that for the family. What about refugees? Not even half of the family member number, 45,000 a year. Now we're talking out of 37 million. So why does Canada need immigration? Before we diss on immigration, let's look at the reason why. The reason why Canada needs immigration is because of population demographics. Every country needs a population pyramid, which is a representation of the population from the youngest to the oldest at the top. Every country needs a population pyramid that more or less has a lot more younger people and a lot less older people. Well, why is that? The reason for that is because as people age, they tend to cost money to the country, right? Because of, they're not working anymore, and younger working people is what you need more of, right? If you look at, again, the population of Canada out of 37 million, we have a birth rate, a fertility rate that keeps dropping. In order to keep population levels from dropping, you need a fertility rate of 2.1. What we have right now is 1.68 back in 2009, down to 1.54 children per family in 2016, the lowest levels observed since 2003. So what that means is our population is going to drop, and it's going to keep dropping unless we have immigration. So now that we understand that, we can say that this is like a really ridiculous poster. It basically feels xenophobic, even though, should we have mass immigration? Of course not. We don't want mass immigration. We don't want open borders, because that only makes sense in theory. The problem with open borders is it is good in theory in the sense that, we want to allow anyone to live wherever they want to live, that everyone should be allowed to live here, whatever. But the problem is it creates, a situation where you have the worst people all flooding into the places which are better. So you'd have places where, you actually have free education like Germany. You'd have places where you have free healthcare like Canada. They'd be flooded with people, right? And the free healthcare would go away. You'd have problems with trying to get into schools in some places because, the quality of the education would obviously, become, crowded, overcrowded. Already, public schooling systems are overcrowded, but I don't even know if there would be public school, because it's just not possible to to have a situation like that. So when you create these artificial borders, you're able to have some sort of quality control as to who you allow in the country. Obviously, whoever's in the country, you can't really kick them out, even though you might want to. But you're with a situation where you can control who is coming into the country, and so it makes sense to control that, right? It makes sense to pick and choose and to say we want these type of people coming in, these valuable skills that we need and we have a shortage of. So all of that makes sense, right? What doesn't make sense is the messaging of this billboard. It's definitely over the top. It's definitely hurtful, and I don't think it's effective in conveying. Like, what is it conveying, right? Like, what exactly is it conveying? It's basically seems like, protect the local people, which, we do want to protect, but at the same time, we need immigrants. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Now, unless Canadian women are going to have more babies all of a sudden, which is not going to happen, we need to find another way to keep the population stable. We need to find a way to keep the population pyramid to look more like a pyramid and not an inverted pyramid, which can be very unhealthy for a country. It's almost like a xenophobic type of message that, the immigrants are coming, but again, the immigrants that come to Canada are some of the most, educated, valuable members of society, right? This is a fact, right? We don't have that many refugees coming to the country. We have people that we choose to allow in the country. Like, we are the ones who are letting them in because we need them. And a lot of these people, like doctors and stuff, they end up going to like remote parts of Canada where locals don't want to live, right? For example, in like, the Newfoundland, like the East Coast, or, places that are like, not always big cities. They have programs to incentivize people to move there. And so this is it's a win-win situation for us, right? Anyways, I think obviously, we don't want open borders either. We need controlled immigration, which is what Canada has right now. And I think the current policies are just fine. I don't think there's any problem with the current policies. Anyways, that's my thoughts on the matter. Let me know if you disagree or agree and why. Thanks for watching. This is Abdullah Samir signing out.